Top 10 Electric Motorcycle Accessories. Before we get started, if you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button below and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our latest content. 10. Heated grips. Nothing makes a ride more miserable than being improperly attired, whether it's being too hot, too wet, or too cold. As any experienced rider will tell you, it's always easy to take layers off if it gets hot during your ride, but difficult to put them back on if you don't have them when it gets cold after starting out warm. Additionally, if your extremities get cold, it tends to make the rest of you cold. Suffering from cold hands is a good way of preventing you from controlling the bike properly, which obviously isn't a good idea. One way of preventing frostbite in your hands is by turning on the heated grips, which hopefully your bike comes with as standard, but if not, there are some excellent aftermarket grips you can buy which are easy to fit. 9. Tire sealant. Punctures on a bike are a real pain. With the modern tubeless tire, it's relatively easy to plug it, inflate it, and carry on. If you are carrying a kit with you, which we all don't always do, especially on short rides, which can still be too long to push the bike home. But you can't plug a tube tire, and removing a wheel and tire, patching the tube, and putting everything back together is beyond all but the most dedicated rider, and impossible if there's no center stand. 8. Seat pad. Comfort. One of the most important and most overlooked aspects of riding safety. When a particular part of your body starts to ache, then your concentration on that pain distracts you from your riding. We're vulnerable enough without taking our eyes off the ball. Modern motorcycle design tends to favor thin, hard seats, which some riders will find endlessly comfortable, but others will really struggle with. There are aftermarket seats you can buy, but these can be hugely expensive. A good alternative is a seat pad that can be affixed on top of the OEM seat. Some pads are inflatable, which makes them nicely adjustable, while others are made of foam but can be ergonomically preferable to the seat. The other advantage for those with a collection of bikes is that the pad can be moved from bike to bike. 7. Lock and chain. How many of us have experienced that sinking feeling of realizing your pride and joy has been stolen? If manufacturers are getting better at anti-theft technology, then the thieves are getting more and more ingenious and daring, and will think nothing of picking a bike up and manhandling it into a van, even with the alarm going off. Tracker systems are hard to hide on a bike, and you can be sure that the thieves know a trick or two about disabling them. 6. USB port. Electronics have changed life for everyone, and motorcycling is no exception. But all these electronic devices need power if they are to survive a 2 or 3 day trip into the middle of nowhere. Many bikes come with USB ports these days, but many do not. Happily, there are many aftermarket solutions to the problem, enabling you to charge phones, a SAT-AV unit, or even power-heated clothing. Look for systems that are easy to mount and hardwire into the bike's wiring loom. If it has 2 or more ports, are they capable of handling different charging settings? And are the ports backlit for easy nighttime use? Also consider whether you need it to be waterproof when not in use. 5. Helmet cam. You're riding through some of the most incredible scenery in the middle of nowhere, or even through the streets of your favorite city. Why wouldn't you want to capture it on camera for posterity or your blossoming YouTube, TikTok, Instagram platform? Static photos are great, but they often don't convey the significance of what you are seeing as you ride. Another good reason to film every ride. 4. Crash bobbins. Many years ago, large and unsightly crash bars, front and back, were deemed adequate protection for your bike in the event of sending it up the road. Thankfully, the modern solution is much neater and no less effective, having been made possible by modern perimeter frames. Crash bobbins, or bungs, whatever you want to call them, screw into existing threaded holes in the chassis or the end of the wheel spindles to take the brunt of the impact and abrasion, protecting bodywork, foot pegs, and anything that will cost a fortune to replace, which is pretty much everything on a modern motorcycle. The best ones will even have an element of shock absorption to cushion the initial blow. 3. Chain oiler. Modern O-ring chains are a lot more durable than the older type, but they still need attention and adjustment. Regular lubrication will extend the life of the chain and sprockets, as well as reducing the need for excessive adjustment as the chain wears and stretches. But looping a chain can be a nuisance with no center stand, and even with one, it is one of those jobs that is easy to overlook. An automatic chain oiler loops the chain without you having to think about it, which will extend the life of your chain and sprockets to the point where it could possibly last the lifetime of the bike, saving you a ton of money and hassle along the way. 2. Waterproof backpack luggage. If you had to point to one drawback of riding a motorcycle, it is the lack of luggage space. For small bits and pieces, a backpack is always useful, but you have to make sure it is waterproof. I've ruined at least 2 laptops by being caught in sudden thunderstorms with an inadequate backpack. Even if it hasn't rained where you live for the past 5 years, you can guarantee it will rain the day you have some sensitive electronics in your backpack. 1. Earplugs. As with everything on this list that has got better over time, and with money poured into development, modern motorcycle helmets would be unrecognizable to anyone riding 30 or 40 years ago. Comfort, fit, weather sealing, ventilation, vision, and protection have all come on in leaps and bounds. But even the best helmets in terms of sound insulation can still be harmful to your hearing if worn for long periods, and that is where a set of earplugs can add to the enjoyment of a long ride, out of all proportion to the investment. Not all of us can afford a top-of-the-line helmet, and not all of us ride a bike with a fairing and screen to keep the worst of the wind off us, so earplugs can make a huge difference. From simple foam plugs to custom-made silicone inserts, there is something for every budget. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content. Hit the notification bell to stay updated with our latest videos. Share your thoughts in the comments below. We love hearing from you. Thank you for watching.